2024 had no shortage of memorable moments and lasting images, and now the New York Times is out with its annual Year in Pictures project, showcasing some of the most quintessential images throughout the year, from Harris and Trump supporters reacting to the election results to the devastating consequences of the wars in the Middle East and Ukraine. Let's bring in photography editor at the New York Times, who has to put this all together, Jeffrey Henson Scales. He's also co-editor of the Year in Review undertaking. So we have 8 to show, but there's going to be a lot more this weekend. Are they a measure? How do you choose these? Are they a measure of the historic moment we are in, or how would you describe this compilation?
Well, every year we go through like close to 400,000 pictures.
Good Lord. Yeah. So how do you choose?
And it's a combination of beautiful photographic aesthetics and news moments and news events. So it's always a balance of those two things, you know, and photographic artistry.
So we want to go through some of these, but first, Mike, let's show this is a preview. Are we allowed to show this yet? We're going to show just the cover. Just the cover.
Sunday's News Today.
You got 40 some in there, many more online posted today.
Yes.
Let's start with the election. And the first one we have this morning is of Trump supporters. What are we seeing in this image here?
Oh, my gosh.
Well, this is an image by photographer Mark Peterson. It was shot for the opinion section of the Times, and it was Trump supporters on election night in West Palm Beach, I believe. And, you know, captures a lot of the mood of the MAGA and the Trump supporters. You know, I thought it was a really beautiful image that really captured that vibe.
And the young men that helped propel him to the White House. On the other side of things, we've got a beautiful shot of Harris supporters as well. What do we see here?
This is a photograph by Damon Winter, who is one of our staff photographers who also shoots for Opinion, but this is in Washington. They're waiting for Kamala to do her concession speech the day after, and it, you know, really captured, you know, quite the moment there, I thought.
Yeah, that's a beautiful image. There was so much this year, obviously, happening in the world, too, Jeffrey, particularly in Gaza, in the war with Israel there. What do we see in this photograph?
This is a picture by Samar Abu Alouf, a Palestinian photographer that did a lot of our coverage out of Gaza last year. And this is a series called Out of Gaza of children, well, not children, all children, but people that were injured and were getting treatment in Qatar. And it's a very powerful image of this young child on this, you know, one of those little motorized cars who had a leg amputated.
Let's move to Syria, and this next photo is simply entitled Syria Rubble. Tell us about it.
Yeah, this is by photographer Nicole Tung, and it was shot just last week, and it's I think it's a really powerful image, and with the birds flying over the rubble of the damage that the Assad regime had done to this particular community, and it's kind of metaphoric to me for like the birds flying as hopeful in, you know, a new government. You know, no guarantees there, but it's hopeful.
Let's turn to our next picture, focused on Ukraine, I believe.
Yeah. Yes.
Tell us about this one.
This is at one of the howitzer artillery stations in Ukraine. It's by our staff photographer, Tyler Hicks.
Oh, my gosh.
Who is an amazing conflict photographer. And he's been in Ukraine, you know, for a long time. And just the energy and that moment of the explosion of the cannon going off, you know, and it was really powerful. And the sun coming through, just a very powerful, dramatic image.
Beautiful composition on that. Let's, on a happier note, away from war, the reopening of Notre Dame.
Yes, this was during the setup. This was the rehearsals for the opening, and it was Dmitry Kostolov, and it just captures France and, you know, the beautiful Notre Dame with the lights coming out from behind it, and, you know, the river, which I assume is the Seine River with the boat going up there.
So, Jeffrey, how many people sit around the table at the Times and judge these pictures and come down to what you regard to be the best?
Me and my co-editor, named Tanner Curtis, who I've worked with on this for the last probably 3 years. I've been doing the section for about 15 or 16. And then we also review them probably once every 2 weeks with the director of photography, Megan Loram.
And what you decide, that goes in, like this one here, just incredible.
Yeah, I mean, well, we knew that was going to be in the day we saw it. And then, you know, we added the whole sequence where you actually see the bullet going by his head. But yeah, that, you know, the day I saw that, back when that happened, I knew that was going to feature large.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the next one, Soldier with American Flag. And I actually want to read a quote from the photographer here. This was a reverent moment. The family is about to participate in a funeral they have been waiting years for. It was a somber experience, and good to know the man was getting the respect he needed. I wanted to get as close as I possibly could to show the contrast between the hands and the flag. Alyssa Pointer, more can you say about the photo?
Yeah, it was a beautiful, seemingly simple image, but very direct, a nice change of scale. And this was a soldier, a black soldier that was killed in 1941, I believe, by a white military police officer. And this family has been waiting actually probably decades for this official funeral. And it was a very powerful moment, I thought.
And just to get a sense of the range of the photos that you'll be showing in the Sunny edition, the last one is from Allentown, Pennsylvania. And tell us what we're seeing.
Well, we're seeing members of the Valley Elite All-Stars, a competitive cheerleading group.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing this when it came out, and I just thought it was really fun, exciting, the composition, even the way the cheerleader at the top is just cut off, but her hands really fill that space. And it's just really fun. And that's one of the things that we have to do every year is balance the fun, the joy with the hard news that we have to face.
Well, you've done that again in the New York Times annual Year in Pictures project, online now. Photography editor Jeffrey Henson Scales, thank you so much for sharing it with us and for a preview of Sunday. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for having
Jeffrey.
me, Mika.
Good to have you on.
Willie and Mike.
All right.